toxins and things like that, but we need something specifically designed for indoors. So we figured we can't take the roof off our home and allow it to rain inside, so the company came up with something specifically designed for that. So we actually have our RainMate. As you can see, it kind of rains, kind of like Mother Nature, except it's trapped inside this little basin. What this is doing is pulling in all dust particles, odors, trapping in the water, and releasing 100% water wash, clean, fresh air. So if you think of a glass of water, you put a glass of water in the fridge and you go back to it, it's going to taste like whatever's in your fridge, whether it's broccoli, fish, onions, it's going to be gross. And so that's what this is doing, again, pulling everything in and releasing that 100% water wash, clean, fresh air. So Fanny, what do you normally use to air freshen your home?
I use candles.
Okay, and Kenny, what do you use?
Clay.
Okay, so the plug-ins. All right, so Fanny, the candles are actually hazardous to us because of the fact that it could cause a fire damage. It can also be the smoke going into the air is bad for our lungs. And then Kenny, as far as your plug-ins, that could be an electrical fire issue. In the event that you plug them in, you forget the oil's there and it burns out. So the company created a green way to air freshen the air as opposed to putting all those pollutants and toxins and things like that into the air. So are either of you allergic to anything? All right. So the first thing that we're going to start with is fresh air. Sorry. Is the fresh air. This is actually great. Say, for instance, Fanny and Kenny, your children are sick. They come home from school and they have a cold. Of course, they're going to get you sick eventually. And so what this is doing is it's killing 99.9% of germs and viruses. So instead of, you getting sick and then the kids getting sick and you getting your husband sick and things like that, instead of having that circle effect, it's actually going to kill the airborne viruses. And this is actually what hospitals use as well. So say, for instance, you don't want to smell that. And we do have other scents as well. We have berry, orange, and eucalyptus. Kenny, which one would you like to try?
Orange.
All right. Orange is actually one of my favorites. I know for me, I grew up with orange trees and things like that. Also drinking orange juice and things. If you like that kind of refreshing scent, this is actually great. If you notice, I actually mix the products. And the reason is because all our products are oil-based, so whatever scent you put in last is the scent that's going to come out. I do recommend, however, that you do put the fresh air in first so that you can kill the germs, but also smell a scent that might be more appealing to the nose. Let's say, for instance, if your kids do get you sick, we do have the eucalyptus, which is actually really good in the event that you have a cold. You can actually help to open up sinuses and things like that, and kind of, instead of using the Vicks that normally kids actually don't like to use. So this is a great product. Again, like I said, the fragrances are an added bonus. All you really need is the water. That's actually your filter to pull everything in, trap it in the water, and release 100% water wash, clean, fresh air.
It's
gonna be hard to follow, Mrs. Scott over
After all that stuff I just said.
No pressure. Okay.
Just don't mess up.
Okay, get this. There we go. All right. So, as he said before, basically in a lot of the countries that we do have this rainbow in, a lot of them actually don't use carpet. A lot of them are hardwood floors because a lot of them realize, carpet really does contain a lot of germs, bacteria, and really is a big primary source of allergies and those kinds of things. So we do have our special tool here, and basically I don't have every piece of this. Do we have the sponge part? Where's Scott? Did he disappear? I also don't have any water in it.
You're on your own, kid.
Okay, well, basically I'm actually not going to be able to spray the water, but I'll explain it anyway. So basically, what you want to do with this tool here, now basically this is your total hardwood floor cleaning, hard floor cleaning tool. And basically what you can do here is you've got your trigger here, and this is what's going to squirt your water, kind of like a Swiffer. Dina, what are you using to clean the hard floors in your house? The rain jet. But you're my customer. You don't even know what Swiffer is. The Swiffer. Okay. Well. Okay. So basically, it's just the same kind of premise here. So we're going to use the trigger to spray the water on the ground here, and then we're going to use our little scrubby tool. Right here I've got the brush tool, and basically this is for like tile where you got grout that's really hard to get into, and that actually grout collects a lot of stuff that over time it turns from white to gray to darker black, And then you're on your hands and knees with your toothbrush trying to, you know, clean it, you know. But I've got a much easier way. So again, we're going to spray the water here. We're going to scrub the floors. And instead of having to get on our hands and knees with a little towel and dry the floor, we're just going to go ahead and flip this over here. We're going to just slowly suck and squeegee the water right off the floor instead of, you know, having to get down and dirty with on the floor. Oh, perfect. Thank you, my beautiful assistant, Heather.
That's a red lemon.
Okay. Okay, so turn the rainbow on. Oh, I guess it works better if you plug it in.
I like the quiet.
Most quiet rainbow ever made.
That's it.
I know,
There you
right?
go.
The new version.
A silent rainbow. All right, there we go. Okay, so we've got the trigger right here. It's going to spray some water on the ground, then you lock it off so you're not squirting water all over the place. We're going to go ahead and scrub the floor there. And then we're going to go ahead and flip it over and slowly squeeze and suck that water right up off the floor. The most simple and efficient way to clean your hard floor surfaces. Now, we also have a mop sponge kind of feature here. Basically with this is really how you're going to get deep down. There we go. Okay, so again, same thing here. We're going to go ahead, turn it on. We got our manual trigger here. We're going to squirt a little water there. We're going to mop it. Flip it over. Slowly squeegee all that water off the hard surface. Now where's my Mrs. Customer? She left. Mrs. Customer, could you see yourself using the rain jet in your home?
Absolutely.
You're gonna love your rainbow. Thank you very much.
All you do is you just flip this over. This just flips right over. And I show the customer, it's just like that. You can flip it over, you can kick it over, or you can work on your move, and you can work on that little move to twist it over like that, and you can do that little move right there, and then you can just get a little bit better at your move. So you can flip it left, you can flip it right, and so on and so forth. So what you do is you practice with your rain jet, so you got your little moves, you make it look easy. And the key is this whole thing is you make stuff look easy. You know, you don't want to be down there doing this because that's what we're getting away from. Okay? I like to do this kind of stuff when I'm showing these things. Make it look easy. But this rain jet could sell you a bunch of machines. However, it won't sell you anything if it's in the box, or in your bag, or back at the office, or you don't have any to begin with. All distributors, you need to order some of these up and go out there and do some demos with it if you don't already have some. Now, I feel like that we need to equip all of our people up with this because they may go out to a home and they demonstrate a machine where the people have wood floors or tile floors, and this could be the thing that sells them the machine. And they're really not that expensive. I mean, we can pick these up, get a shipment of these things in there, and it pays for itself. All you got to do is sell one machine, and that'll equip a whole bunch of people up in your office. One extra sale will pay for your rain jets. Now, do I get any money out of rain jets? No, probably not. But anyway. See, the thing about it is, it's such a good tool that you want to have it out there. Now, yes?
How long does that sponge last?
Forever. This is a 50-year sponge. No, I don't know. But,
How often?
but it's that high quality type of sponge that is the industrial rated sponge. It's not the type that rips up and tears apart. It's that heavy duty industrial type of sponge there. You also have the brush head that you can snap off, and you put the stiff little brush on there for scrubbing. If you got a Ford, it's got a bunch of greasy stuff on it. You really want to demonstrate that. The other thing is that what people are normally doing to mop their floor, they're taking the mop in a bucket and spreading all that bacteria. And you know what's on the floor? What is on the floor anyway? What is on the kitchen floor? Think about what's on your kitchen floor. When you cook in your kitchen and you on the stove, what's spraying up out of the pan? Then you got all that grease. And then when you're shaking your soy sauce in there, man, that stuff's splattering up in there, so you got some grease. And then you put your hot sauce and your Tabasco in there, and the kids put orange juice and a whole bunch of that splashed on it. Then you crack an egg. I don't know if your microscopic egg splatter is down on the floor, and that creates a stinky bacteria stuff. And then you pour in a glass of milk and some of that, and the kids, man, they don't care. And then it dries in there. And then you take a mop and you swish it around and mix up that concoction. and you dip it in a bucket, and you dip it on the floor, and you dip it in a bucket, and you spread it around some more, and you got layer after layer of this stuff. People's floors are very, very unsanitary. Their kitchen floors are bad. This thing right here will scrub that stuff up and squeegee it up and make it squeaky clean, and you need to sell that feature. Because people hate mopping their floors. It's like one of the worst things of all. So thank goodness that Rex Air and their genius, brilliant engineers invented this rain jet for us. So let's use it, please. Let's use it. And I'm glad that the new kid in town knows how to demonstrate. Okay. Now, last but not least, the one that everybody usually, nobody ever skips the Aquamate, right?
No.
Okay, well, I hope not. Because Rex Air did a survey, they called back thousands of Rainbow owners, and they asked them, at what point in the demonstration did you make your decision to purchase? And 50% or so of those customers stated that they made their decision to purchase the machine after they saw the Aquamate. Now, they may have been thinking about it, they may have been wanting it, but how many of you that have been around and been out doing demos and making sales have had a customer decided not to buy the machine, and then you showed them the Aquamate and you flipped them over and they bought the machine? Brand new lady Christine over here already got one. So we've got lots of us that have had that happen. The Aquamate will flip people around and make it sell. So again, you definitely don't want to be skipping any of these attachments. Now, what happens if the people already bought the machine, already wrote you a check, you're done, you can get the heck out of there, you can skip these attachments, right?
No.
What, you still got to go demonstrate it?
Yes.
I mean, you still got to go back out to your car after you've already sold the machine, you got the check, you don't want to get the highway and get out of there, quit?
What is a free gift?
Why do you want to go back to your car after they already wrote you a check and show these gifts? Huh?
More demos.
Well, what do you need referrals for? You already got a check, you already got the sale, you already made $500, you can just get out of there, you go knock on some doors. You go knock on some doors tomorrow. You don't need any referrals, do you?
You want them to advertise.
I'm going to tell you something, guys. You got to demonstrate these gifts every single time, even if they've already bought the machine, even if you don't think they're going to buy the machine. Okay? Make it a discipline that you're going to demonstrate these things. Make it a commitment that no matter what, you're going to show the customer these options, these accessories, and increase your value of your presentation. Building value is the key. Now, we're going to have our last referral gift demonstration conducted by a gentleman who's actually been in the company for quite some time. Celebrated, I believe, 20 years now? Yesterday? Whoa.
All right.
I didn't know it was yesterday. Well, happy anniversary, 20th anniversary to the company. Chris Pedersen, very successful satellite distributor in the company. He's going to go ahead and show you how he demonstrates the Aquamate and talk about getting green lights and getting referrals from those customers. Would that be a good thing to know how to do?
Yes.
Okay. Chris Pedersen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, you can do that carpet right there, sure. Okay.
I'm going to assume that Scott is not the cook in his house.
Yeah.
What was it? Orange juice, soy sauce, milk.
Tabasco, hot sauce, and
Nastiest milk.
Tapatio.
There's a fox picture.
It's funny because, like Scott said, I'm from Spokane, Washington, and a lot of times I get this funny look when I first meet people, when I travel around to different meetings and I tell them I'm from Spokane. They seem to think that we are way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I met Mike Rowaldi yesterday for the first time, and he gives me this fascinated look when I say I'm from Spokane, almost as if to say, how do you sell rainbows with no running water or electricity? So, anyway, I promise we have all those things, and you can come visit up there sometime, Mike. We have indoor bathrooms and everything.
No.
No indoor plumbing yet.
Okay. So Scott actually asked me to talk to everybody a little bit about not only demonstrating the Aquamate, but also about referrals and turning referrals into green lights. Jim talked about the 5 different lead programs that we have and the 5 different ways that we can generate appointments. And if you think about all of them, who in here thinks that they know what the best type of demo to run is? Anybody got an idea? Yeah.
One that you're in.
Right. Yeah. The one that is home is the best, as long as they're all qualified, the one that's home is definitely the best one to run. Now, we know the percentages of who's going to be home because of how we keep track of our records in this business. So the first type of lead is the personal lead, friends and family. Unfortunately, we all run out of those after a little while. So that's not really a long-term plan to stay consistent in the business. The second one was home shows and fairs. I don't know how it is here, but where I live, we have stretches of 4 to 5 months at a time when there's no home shows and no fairs. So we run out of those type of leads after a while. Registrations. Who knows what the holdup percentage is on registration appointments? 50%. 50%. About half of them will hold up. Who knows what the holdup percentage is on an owner or non-owner green light appointment?
70%.
Ours has been actually about 85% over the years. And so that actually is the reason that that's the best type of lead. It's not because they're more likely to buy or they're friendlier or more qualified or anything like that, but it's because they're home more often than any of the others. They're obligated to a friend because they're helping somebody earn a free gift. They're getting a free gift themselves. They know exactly what you're coming to show them. Their friend told them a little bit about it. Half the time it's already even sold before you get there because they're so excited when they hear, their friends get excited when they tell them about it. So that's what actually makes the referrals and the green lights the best type of appointment, is just because they hold up a lot better. I mean, who in here would love, as a dealer, to wake up every Monday knowing that you're going to have 10 or 12 qualified appointments set up this week, that 85 to 90% of them are going to be there when you get there? Anybody want to have that as your situation? Well, then you have to go into each and every demo with the mindset that I'm going to get as many qualified referrals as I possibly can from this demonstration. And it starts with, like Scott said, making that connection with the customer, getting them to like you and feel comfortable with you, not high pressure selling, not having your demo last 7 hours or whatever. I've gone on a demo with a dealer before, and 3 or 4 hours later, he hasn't even showed them the price yet. I mean, you just want to shoot yourself when it comes to that. And so they're not going to give you referrals if that's the case as well. They have to have a good experience. And then the last thing that Scott was talking about, showing these different tools to get the customer to want these different accessories to help you with referrals. People won't give you referrals just because they're getting something for free. It has to be something that they want, because your customers and the people that you do demos for are not like us. They can't handle being rejected over and over and over. We can, because we're used to it. It's part of being in the sales industry. But what happens with your customers is, if you don't get them all excited and teach them what they're supposed to say, and go through all the steps of the program, they call one of their friends and get shot down. They don't want to call anybody else. So you have to go through every single step of the program in order for these things to work. You can't take little shortcuts, and certainly don't ever leave any of these things out. You've got to show each and every tool, and then use the green grocery card. You guys all use this right here. And then the referral sheets and all those kinds of things. Use every tool that you have available to you in order to make this program work. There is nothing better. I've sold over 1,000 personal sales in my Rainbow career, and I would guess probably 75 to 80% of them were customer referrals. And I would not be in this business today if there was not a referral program. I definitely wouldn't have stuck around very long. And one of the things that really impacted me about referrals, when I was relatively new in the business, I had driven about an hour and a half to this demonstration up in Sandpoint, Idaho, which that is really out in the sticks. And it's actually up near the Canadian border. And I had driven all the way up there for this demo, and when I got there, this lady's husband refused to sit down and watch the demo. He was working on some kind of construction project in the back of the house, and he just would not come out. And I said, well, can we reschedule for a more convenient time when he could watch it? And she said, no, he'll never watch it. So I went ahead and did the demo for just her anyway. And at the end of the demo, she loved the Rainbow, she wanted it. She said, I gotta go talk to my husband and see what he says, and of course I'm expecting the worst, and so she goes, talks to him, she comes back, and he says, no, absolutely not, won't even consider it. And I was taught to say, okay, no problem, I just got one last quick thing to show you, and so then I hand her the water basin to go dump out, and I go out to my car, and I get my Aquamate and my Rainbow Mate, and I come back inside, and I demonstrate the Aquamate, and she says, oh, let me go talk to my husband. So she goes in the back, and about 10 minutes later, she comes back, and she's shaking her head, he just absolutely refuses. And so I told her, you know, it's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. And she laughed, but she still didn't do it yet. So I demonstrated the rainbow mate, you know, a little mini power head, and this is long before we had a range yet to show them. But she loved the mini power head, and she's like, well, let me go talk to him again. And so she goes back and she talks to him again. She comes back about 5 or 10 minutes later, and she's still shaking her head. He still says no. And she starts looking at everything, and all the dirt pads were laying there, and the dirty water from the shampooer, and all these things. And she says, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I said, awesome. So she put the rainbow on the credit card, welcomed her to the rainbow family. And then we started talking about the referrals. She wants to get everything for her rainbow. Now, she's all excited about these things because she had seen them in action. She saw the results of them. And so she starts coming up with this list of referrals. And as she's getting close to the end of the first sheet of referrals, I hand her another one. I said, you know, don't stop. You can keep going. I got lots of other free stuff you can get. We have the deluxe accessory pack. We had the, you know, the cookware that she could get. Lots of different things. And so she ended up giving me 16 qualified referrals. And out of those, I did all 16 of them over the next 10 days. And I sold 14 out of those 16.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is what I was going to do. And a lot of you will have stories like that over time where you have these just gold customers that give you all these great referrals. But none of that stuff ever would have happened had I not demonstrated the Aquamate. And this was the Aquamate that was really tough to demonstrate. This is the one that you had to screw into the faucet and spray it everywhere. And you were like breaking your back, scrubbing the floor. She thought that thing was the greatest thing ever. You know why? Because her carpet was clean. The stains came out. So showing them that result is what really made the difference. You know, always remember, the leads you get this week, that's your paycheck next week. Okay? This week's leads are next week's paycheck. So anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you how I demonstrate the shampooer, and then how I transition showing the shampooer into getting the referrals down on paper and getting the customer to actually turn those into green lights for us. So the first thing we do is, after we have demonstrated the rainbow and the customer's taken it for a test drive, we go through our closing. We show them the price and go through the closing pages in the book and all that. And then that's when the dealers would call me at the end to let me know that they're just about finished, and you know, we see if there's any special options we need to offer, like financing, in order to help close the sale. And then when they hang up, I would say, now folks, I got one last quick thing to show you. If you mind doing me a favor, just take that to your bathroom and just dump that down the toilet, and both of you go together and watch what comes out of there. I just got to run out to my car. I got one last quick thing to show you. And do me a favor, really go dump that out.
Really?
Okay, so the customer goes and dumps out the water basin for me. And again, I have them both go together. You know, a really cool thing that you can do, which a lot of you may have seen before, is if you carry a couple little, like those ball canning jars in your demo kit, pour some of that dirty water into one of those glasses and then set it aside, okay, so that you're going to use this at the end of the Aquamate. So I pour a little bit of that into one of those little jars. Pick out a nice little stain in the carpet. Hopefully there's one close by that you can show them. Ask the customer if they have a stain that they haven't been able to get out. All right, perfect. Okay, so folks, there's two types of dirt in your carpet. There's the loose dirt, which is what you just dumped out of the water basin. Okay, but then there's also another type of dirt called stained dirt. And the stained dirt, you actually have to wash out of the fibers of the carpet. I mean, you could clean with the rainbow all day long with every other tool that we have, and the stained dirt is just never going to come out. But we do have an extra tool for the stained dirt, and it's called the Aquamate. Here's how the Aquamate works. We're going to go ahead and push this pedal all the way forward. And it's going to spray out a little bit of shampoo and water. Just pull the trigger, sprays out. It's got scrubbing brushes underneath. So it's doing all the hard work for you. Okay? Once you come on over here and try it, I have the customer actually take over and do it themselves. Okay? After we've gone over a little area, we're going to click it back once so that we're actually rinsing the carpet. The reason it's really important important to rinse. You know, think about when you take a shower. You know, you don't get your hair all lathered up and then jump out of the shower and then comb the shampoo out of your hair. You know, you actually rinse it with clean water. And that's the same thing you want to do with the fibers in your carpet. Otherwise, it'll leave a residue which will attract dirt. Then it just starts looking dirty within, you know, a couple of weeks. We want the results to last for a long time. Okay, and then we're going to click everything off so that we kind of get up any excess moisture, and it'll dry within an hour or two. It's not saturated with carpet or anything like that. Okay, and just like that, we're all done. Okay, now one of the reasons it's really nice to have your own Aquamate instead of paying somebody else to do it or having to rent a machine or anything like that, you know, because if you have the guy come out and shampoo your carpet, it's usually like $150 or something like that. And when he's all done, you pay him for it, he gives you a receipt, your carpet looks great, you're all happy, and just as his taillights are disappearing down the driveway, little Johnny comes running around the corner with a big glass of grape juice and trips over the dog, and now you got this giant grape juice stain right in the middle of your living room floor. Now, how well will that receipt the guy just gave you take out that new stain? It's not gonna. How great would it be to be able to just go to the closet, pull out your own Aquamate, and take that out yourself? Okay, so what you dumped out earlier was the loose dirt. That is your stained dirt. Now, which of those two would you rather get rid of?
Both.
Both. Okay, and then that's when we would offer whatever new financing plan that we have available to try to close the sale. And now a lot of times at this point, the customer will ask you, well, how much extra is the shampooer, or does the shampooer come with it? And so what we say, well, folks, you can buy the Aquamate for $400, or you can get it for free. What would you rather do? Get it for free? It's really easy. Let me tell you how it works. All you have to do is have 4 people that you know allow me to come over and show them the rainbow sometime in the next 2 weeks. Nobody has to buy or pay for anything, and we're going to get you an Aquamate absolutely free. And again, nobody has to buy or pay for anything. Now, we do have a couple of rules. The people that you refer me to, they do have to be homeowners. So they have to own their own home. They have to be gainfully employed full-time or be comfortably retired. And if it's a couple, both of them need to be there to see the entire presentation. Okay? So what I need you to do is go ahead and jot down some people on this sheet right here that you can think of that fit those rules. And while you work on that, I'm going to go clean up your rainbow. Okay? So I hand them the referral sheet with a pen. One of the keys to that whole little thing I just said is that little phrase, so what I need you to do. The biggest mistake most dealers make when it comes to getting referrals is they ask, do you think you could think of some people? Or would you mind putting down the names of some people? We say, quote, and I teach my dealers to memorize this word for word. So what I need you to do is go ahead and jot down the names of some people that you can think of that fit those rules on this sheet right here. And while you work on that, I'm going to go clean up the rainbow. Okay? So then I go and I clean up the rainbow, I'm doing the paperwork, and as soon as they're done with the referrals, and like I said earlier, if they get it filled out pretty easily, I'll hand them another sheet because I tell them we've got other accessories you can get for free as well. As soon as they're done, they hand me the referral sheet back, and I'm going to go through and make sure that each and every referral on here is qualified. I'm going to ask so they do own their own home, and what type of work does he do, what type of work does she do. I go through each and every referral, and then I even will take it as far as to say, now folks, is there anybody on this list that you can think of that even if they absolutely fell in love with the rainbow and had to have it, could not get it for one reason or another? Maybe, you know, job problems, credit problems, marital problems, whatever. Is there anybody on here you can think of that would be like that? And if they pick somebody out, which a lot of times they will, I'll cross them off. And I just tell them, I just don't want to waste their time. Okay? And if you can get them to replace it with someone, then you can do that. The other thing that I say is I say, now, Micah? I'll say, Micah, let's say you sold rainbows for a living like I do. And our company was going to put up this big bonus that they were going to pay your house payment or your rent for the next 6 months if you got the first sale tomorrow. who would you want to be showing the rainbow to on this list right here?
I like that.
Which one? Which one's the best one?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yes.
Okay, what I say is, if you sold rainbows for a living, and our company was going to pay your house payment for the next 6 months, if you got the first sale tomorrow, who would you want to show the rainbow to? Which one of these people?
John and Mary.
And when they pick somebody out, they say, John and Mary, I'd say, why? And then they'll tell me some great reason. Oh, they got kids and pets and allergies, and they buy everything, and all kinds of different reasons. And I'll jot that down. Now, I just want you to think about this. When you set up these appointments off of these referrals, which is the one you're going to be the most excited about?
John and Mary.
John and Mary, because they told me all the reasons that they know their friends better than I do, obviously. Okay, so they're going to know who are the people that have the highest closing percentages in this business. It's not because their demo is so fantastic. Learning a good demo only takes, a couple days to learn it and then a few weeks to practice it. It's showing the rainbow to the right people, okay? And so asking those kind of questions is what helps these, the people with 50+% closing averages to maintain those averages, because they're showing the rainbow to the right type of people all the time. And so after I find out that John and Mary is the person that they think is most likely to do it, I'd say, okay, let's say they weren't home. Who would you go see next? Okay, and I go to the top 4. Okay, and then from there, you want to teach them next what to say. Because like I said earlier, if you don't, and they get told no on the first one, they're not calling anybody else. When the marketing department does a follow-up with them, they'll tell the marketing department, oh yeah, I talked to everybody on the list, they all said no. When really, they talked to one person. And they told them no, they didn't want to call anybody else. Okay? So you got to teach them what to say so that they have success. So what I do is I say, now folks, when you call these people, it's really important that you say the right thing. Don't call them up and say, hey, would you be interested in a rainbow vacuum? Because your friend's going to say no. They already have a vacuum, they're not in the market, whatever. They're just going to say no. And then, you're not going to be able to get your free stuff. And so what you want to do is the first words out of your mouth have to be, hey, I was wondering if you could do me a favor. Just stress the favor. I was wondering if you could do me a favor. I'm going to get a carpet shampooer for free if you just take a look at a rainbow like I did. You don't have to buy or pay for anything, and they give you a gift just for helping me out. Would you do that for me? Okay? So you teach them, and the script's probably on the back of your referral sheet, like this is the one that Scott uses here. I go through that and I teach them exactly what to say, and I really emphasize the favor thing a couple of times. And then I also give them an answer in case the customer gives them an objection. I tell them, now, if when you're talking to your friend, when you talk to John and Mary, if they happen to say, well, we already have a vacuum, or we wouldn't buy anything, or we're not in the market, if they say anything like that, I just want you to say, that's okay, just look so I can get my free shampoo. Because no matter what their objection is, that works. If they say, well, we wouldn't buy anything, that's okay, just look so I can get my free shampooer. Okay, well, we already have a vacuum. That's okay, just look so I can get my free shampooer. We hate rainbows. That's okay, just look so I can get my free shampooer. I don't care what they say, that will work. So teach them what to say, just in case they get told no. And then the last thing, does everybody in here utilize the website? Most people?
Yes.
Okay. What we have found that seems to work really good for people registering on the website, which, by the way, we've also found that the people who do register on the website, even if they don't submit the green lights online, they get the green lights way more often than the people who do not register on the website. It just gets them more entrenched in the whole process. And so what we've started doing to help get people more encouraged to register on the website is we tell them, now folks, after I complete your 4th demonstration, your 4th referral, our company will order your shampooer, and then you can pick it up when it comes in. It takes a week or 2 after I've done the 4th one. However, if you register on the website right now, they'll actually reserve your gift now. So when I complete the 4th demo, which could be the day after tomorrow, you can get your shampooer that quick, because they'll already have it reserved and set aside for you. Okay? So that seems to have helped quite a bit with us being able to get our customers to register on the website. And then the last thing is just, we also do the 48-hour bonus, where we tell them, now folks, if you actually call your referrals or submit them on the website within the next 48 hours, you also can get another free gift, either the Rainbow Mate, we actually use the range jet as our 48-hour bonus because we can't even keep those things in stock. People just love that thing. So the 48-hour bonus encourages them to do it quicker, and then you want to let them know that somebody from the office is probably, we have a customer care representative who's in charge of trying to help you on these free gifts, and they're going to be giving you a call sometime tomorrow to follow up with you and see if you've had a chance to contact anybody yet. So what's the best number to get a hold of you at? And I write it down on the sheet and I circle it. And what's the best time for them to call you? And I write down the time. See, now they know that once I'm out the door, they're not off the hook. They're going to be held accountable for this by somebody else from the office whose whole job is to help make sure that they get their free stuff. So use all these little tools. Another thing that helps a lot is carry a couple extra little bottles of fragrance with you and ask the customer, hey, if you can call some of these people while I'm here right now, we can get that all out of the way right now, and I'll even give you a couple extra bottles of fragrance to go with your rainbow for free. So why don't we go ahead and give John and Mary a call real quick, and remember, just make sure that you stress that they're just doing you a favor. They don't have to buy or pay for anything. Because the nice thing about having them call while you're still there is if they screw it up, which a lot of times they do, you're there to help pick them up, dust them off, and let them, teach them what to say again, make them feel good, and let them try again. It's like when you teach your kid how to ride a bike. You don't kind of tell them, look straight ahead, keep your balance, pedal like crazy. All right, good luck, son, and then go back inside and watch TV. He's not going to be riding a bike for very long. So, you got to be right there to help them out. And so that's why we try really hard to get the customers to call right now while you're there. Okay? And if you can at least get them to call one or two, if they partially have earned something, they'll complete it. Nobody's going to just own part of something. They're going to finish the process and get you all 4 green lights. So anyway, that's what we do to turn referrals into green lights and to get the people excited to do it.
And it does lead actually to a point I wanted to make to you today, that there is a great deal to be said for having wealth. Now, I didn't say money, okay? Because I want to talk to you today about being wealthy. And there's a lot more to being wealthy than having money, okay? Being wealthy is really, is having the ability to influence people, okay, positively. Being wealthy is the ability to have a great deal of fun in your life because you're not obsessed with money, okay? And see, the thing that I love about talking to people about becoming millionaires is I know that most millionaires are really nice people. You see, most people don't know that, okay? Most people don't understand that because they've been told silly things like that money is the root of all evil. That nothing could be further from the truth, folks. I'm going to tell you something. The love of money, which I call greed, okay, may very well be the root of all evil, but I promise you this, I don't know very many greedy people that are really wealthy. Because a greedy person's never happy, never have enough, okay? Wealthy people have everything they want, regardless of how much money they have, okay? And one of the things I've noticed about rainbow people and people in our business in general is that they're very happy, they're very generous with their time and money, the successful ones are, and they're anything but greedy. So when I talk to you about being a millionaire today, I'm not talking about amassing wealth. That number isn't even important anymore. Hell, $1 million, really, I hate to tell you, if you got $1 million, you're not wealthy. I mean, you're not really rich anymore even, okay? As a matter of fact, it's the new number is 10 million, to be perfectly honest with you. The deca-millionaire, that's the goal to shoot for, I've been working my whole life very slowly and carefully, saving everything that I could save and trying to live below my means, and, I'm approaching that point now. People ask me, Mike, because I'm going to step back in a couple years and probably take a different kind of role with the company, more part-time, more of a teacher, and appoint one of these great people that you see here to be the national sales guy, okay? And they say, well, why would you want to retire? You're not, because I can. The point is, because I absolutely can. I can get out of the way, I can give somebody else that opportunity, and when you got $10 million, even if you're only making about 5% on your money, you got about $500,000 a year to live on. Could you get by on that? I think I can, okay? So my point is, all right, that this is what I'm hoping for you, is that you have the opportunity to get wealthy, not greedy, okay? Greedy, you'll never get wealthy if you're greedy, okay? My next point to you is that, to become a millionaire in our business or anywhere in this world today, okay, there are formulas and there are things that you have to know and follow, all right? One of those things is that most millionaires in our country, and again, I've read 2 books on the subject, they're both great books if you're going to read them, The Millionaire Next Door, okay, and The Millionaire Mind, both written by the same guy. And The Millionaire Next Door came out after something I had already heard a long time ago, which is, you know, do you know who the millionaires are in this country? Do you really know? You know, if Brian Tracy asked that question 25, 30 years ago of groups of people and found that most people, you know, the first thing that they said, Michael, was that the millionaires in this country are professional athletes, actors, actresses, people like that, right? And you know what we found out, or what he found out when he did the research, was that actually less than 1% of all the millionaires in the United States fell into any of those categories, okay? That about 2% were in sales, about 10% were professionals like doctors, lawyers, etc., okay? And 78% of all the millionaires in the country at that time, 77, 78%, all did one thing. Now, this book, which updated those statistics slightly later, said that 80%, 4 out of 5 people did one thing, same thing, okay? So 4 out of 5 millionaires in this country do one thing. So Micah, you've never heard me talk before, some of these guys already know what I'm going to say. What do you think it is that 4 out of 5 millionaires do?
Solar rainbows.
Well, that's one of them. Okay. Now, salespeople are about 2%. Those are the superstars. Yes?
They invest.
Well, you're close. What do they invest in?
Stocks.
They invest in their own business. 4 out of 5 people in this 80% of the millionaires in this country own their own business. Okay, and they've owned it for about 20 years. That's the actual statistics. So now, if 4 out of 5 people get there one way, and that is own their own business, would you agree that that's the easy way?
No.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, if 4 out of 5 people, is that the way most people are going to get there? Okay, yes, and there's a reason for that. Okay, the reason that most people are going to become millionaires by owning their own business is because it doesn't require any talent. Scott, okay, understand something. You are looking at one of the least talented people on the planet, okay, in front of you. And I'm not kidding you, all right? I don't have any special, everything I've ever learned I've stolen from somebody else or borrowed or learned. I mean, the talent is something you're born with, right? Okay? You know, do you think, as I stand in front of you, do I look like a professional football or basketball player? Okay? No, I'm sorry. You say something here. You know, you can't coach height. I'm not tall enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough, and most people aren't. Okay?
So you use your good looks then.
I get by on my ugliness. That's exactly right. You know, I'm like a puggle. I'm so cute. I'm so ugly. I'm cute. Okay, that's my dog. Okay. But anyways, the point I want to make to you is this. Okay. The facts are these. All right. Most people are going to get wealthy in this world based on their skills, not anything they're born with. Okay. And skills are things you can learn and develop, and that's what our business is all about. You don't have to be born in any. Now, here's what we do know, okay? If talent isn't the answer, okay, then there's a couple things that are. The first is character. Now, we know talented people who don't succeed because they have no character, okay? Character is simply this. Character is what you do, you know, doing the right thing when no one's watching, even when you couldn't get caught. That's always been my definition, okay? I've based the fact that I've had some success in my life, and some pretty good success at times in my life, on the fact that I take a great deal of pride in doing the right things when no one's watching, okay? I don't have to be baby, and I don't know how you can be in business for yourself and be successful, Micah, if you need somebody to watch you, all right? I tell people in our business all the time, it's this simple. You are paying Scott or Beth or Ramon or Chris about $700 a sale to babysit you, okay? And when you no longer need them to babysit you, you can get yourself at home, you can do all those things for yourself, you can get up in the morning, learn the business, then you don't need to pay the babysitter anymore, the money's yours, okay? Now, here's the difference, okay? Most people don't understand that you really cannot change your entire character overnight. It takes about 7 years. That's what because they tell you it's the sum total of all your habits. However, before you open and become successful in our business, you will have to change a few habits. And those habits take about 21 days to change. You can change a habit in about 21 days, Chris. If you're a smoker, you don't smoke for 21 days, you no longer have the habit. You have the addiction, okay, but you don't have the habit, okay? If you're a late riser, can't get up in the morning, get up in the morning 21 straight days, you're an early riser. Okay, if you never exercised in your life, exercise for 21 straight days, can't wait to get up in the morning and exercise. Okay, you can change any habit in 21 days. And before you open your own business, you know the habits that you have to change. Okay, you all know that there are things that you have to work on with yourself and that you can change that will help you become wealthy. It has nothing to do with talent, once again. It has to do with discipline. I actually did play college football, but that was because I outworked everybody, okay? I didn't have a choice. I wasn't talented, all right? I wasn't big. So the next thing you have to have is confidence. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Okay? Confidence is the most important aspect in our business in owning your own business. Now, some businesses, it's different skills, skill sets, maybe technical skills, but in our business, it's confidence. This is one thing I know about being a distributor. The only person that can bring confidence into the organization is the distributor. You can't hire confidence, you can't buy confidence, you can't import confidence, you can't hire Chris to come in and run your distributorship and bring the confidence. Only the distributor can bring the confidence into his organization that the rainbow can be sold, that people can be recruited, and that we can get in a home. If you can't do it, you can't be a distributor in our business, okay? And all of those things are skills. And here's how this works. Confidence is the confluence, okay, of attitude and good information, skills, okay? So we're attitude, and we are responsible in our business for bringing the attitude every day, and skills meet, a person gets confidence. And here's what I mean by that. We know that if you can sell a rainbow virtually at will, there is no reason in the world anymore for you not to open. That's all you really need to know. Everything else you can learn. Okay? You can learn to recruit better, you can learn to recruit people, you can learn to lead. The other skills you need, basically leadership, business skills, all of that you can teach yourself once you know how to sell a rainbow. And Raul, you've heard the story a million times, but the way we describe this so that you can get it in your brain and understand it is, you're ready to open when I could blindfold you. You ever heard this, Chris? Put a parachute on you, strap a rainbow to your back, drop you anywhere in the country. Now, by that evening, you'd be staying in the nicest hotel in town and eating a steak dinner because you could sell that rainbow to anybody. Anyway, okay? Now, we know that once you open up your office, that skill not only will infect your people, okay, but we also know there may be times when you need it, right? Okay, you better be able to sell a rainbow on the worst day of your life before you open. That's how I feel. I mean, no matter what happens, no matter what, you better be able to sell a rainbow that day. Because you might just have the worst day of your life after you open. You know, that's the day your top dealer runs away with your secretary and your checkbook. Okay? Okay? Let me tell you right now, I've seen it. All right? So anyways, the point I'm trying to make to you is, all right, that these are the things that you need to take into consideration as you open. Now, what I want to talk to you about now, and I'm going to take a few minutes and just talk about, Scott's got me all talking about closing. And there's a reason for that, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be brutally honest with you about closing today, okay? I'm going to tell you why I'm such a great closer here in just a minute. And I am a great closer. I am a high-pressure salesman. Scary, scary stuff, I'm telling you. And there's one reason. Because I sold that piece of shit called a Kirby for 30 years. Let me guarantee you one thing, okay? You better be a closer when you take that piece of crap out of our house, okay? Because nobody's buying it because, you know, look, I mean, we could show them how dirty they were and we could close. That's all we could do because that's all we had, all right? Now, you know, the point I'm trying to make to you is that closing is overrated, okay? Very overrated. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that as we go through the deal, because by the end of your presentation, there should be no close at all. You should just be showing them how the thing fits in their budget. The closing takes place in the presentation during the demo. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyways, of these skills, leadership, business, sales, what I want to talk to you about is sales skills. Let's not even call it closing. Let's talk about how to get to a point where you can sell the rainbow at will. Anywhere, anytime, every day, okay? That you are like, you know, a jet fighter pilot, only with a rainbow in your hand, okay? So here's what I want you to understand. Nothing about our business ever changes. Nothing about sales ever changes. I've been doing this for 38 years, okay? And I can tell you today that we sold rainbows yesterday, and we missed sales yesterday, and we missed the ones we missed for the same reasons we missed them for 38 years ago. Any of this sound familiar? Anybody here yesterday, I can't afford it?
Yeah.
Anybody here, I'm not in the market? Anybody here, I gotta think about it? Okay. Anybody here that, well, I'm just gonna call it a priority objection, which is, hey, you know, right now we got taxes, it's not a good time, my husband might be getting laid up, okay. Every time of year is a bad time of year, I can tell you why. Okay, I can give me the month and I'll tell you why it's a bad time of year. Because I've heard it all, and I've heard it a million times, all right? So these things have been going on for a million years, okay? And what I call these are just programmed, delayed, decision, whatever you want to call it, sales resistance, okay? This is how people channel sales resistance. You know why? Because that's how their mother did, okay? And they learned it from her. That's how their father did, and they learned it from him. This stuff doesn't mean anything. It's pure crap. What it really means is I don't even have the confidence in myself to make a decision to buy something, okay? And so I'm going to give you some BS reason why I'm not buying it today, okay? That's what that means. That's all it is, okay? You've heard it before. And now listen, I want to tell you something about what I'm going to tell you right now, what I'm going to say to you in the next 15 minutes. Do not go in a house and do this. You see, I don't really have a problem with the fact that people believe all this stuff. You know, they con themselves into believing this is all true. My problem is you believe it. See, because before you were salespeople, you were them. Okay, sometimes we forget that. Okay, we're wired the same way they are. And once you get into sales, the problem is sometimes you still believe this crap. Let me just give you a quick example so you understand this, all right? There isn't one person in this room that hasn't had this experience, I don't think. You get up in the morning, you decide you're going to the mall today, you hate it, I hate the mall. Jimmy, do you hate going to the mall? Shopping?
No, I'll not.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, okay, I bet you do. I bet you haven't been there 3 years. Your wife does it for you. But anyways, point is, okay, you know, I do this, you do this. We go to Joseph A. Banks or Men's Warehouse, right? Okay. Now, you know damn well we're going in there because we stained our shirt eating like slobs or something on the road, or we had knees, you're starting to be able to see through the butt of your pants, right? Okay? So you gotta go, and so you go, right? So you walk in a store, and you're looking at the shirts, and a salesperson walks up to you, and they go, "Can I help you?" Stupidest thing you could. I mean, how could you even consider or call yourself a salesperson when you ask a stupid question like that? Number one, okay. And number two, you know what we say? Just looking. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what he's really saying to you is, I'm sick of people like you walk around here and don't buy anything. And what you're really saying to them is, I think you're an idiot because I'm in here and I'm just looking at shirts. Look, if I want to look at shirts, I have a drawer full of them at home. I could look at shirts at home. I don't have to spend the gas, the time, or anything else doing there. I am not looking. I am not just looking. All right? But this is a game we've been playing for years. Now, if that person knew something about selling, they would never ask you a stupid question like that. They'd walk up to you and they would go, "Hey, what's your name?" "Well, Raul, I want to tell you something. This is that shirt you were looking at, it's our best seller. Going like wild. And I want to tell you it would look great on. Would you do me a favor, try that on? I want to see what it looks like." And he'd sell you 5 shirts. Okay? But we play these. Great. It's good too. Okay. That's great. We play these stupid games because we're programmed to play them. And what you have to understand when you go in a home is that's all these people are doing. They're playing games with you. Because they're programmed to. Just like you were. You know, it goes all the way back, Scott, to when your mother got a phone call, and you answered the phone as a kid. And they said, "Hi, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. Is your mom there?" "Hey, Mom, it's so-and-so from so-and-so. Tell him I'm not home." She says she's not home. Okay, I mean, we've all been doing this forever. So what do we call people who don't tell the truth, Jimmy?
Liars.
But we don't. Okay. We call them customers. Customers. It's a game. You can't take this personally. You'll get frustrated and you'll lose every time. Even if you beat the hell out of them and you overcome every objection, if they don't like you, are they going to buy for you? No. Okay. So let's slow down here for a second. Well, let's talk about these liars. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. You can't go in a house and tell somebody they're a liar. Right? Okay. Right. Okay. So what you have to do instead is you have to understand that they've made a flawed decision, and you have to change that decision. But they've all made that decision. When my kids sold part-time while they were in college, okay, one of the things I will promise you is that they wanted to know from Dad what the secret was. You know, what's the secret? You can tell me. I won't tell anybody. Yeah, no. Okay, here's the secret. They all decided before you get there they weren't going to buy it. And the sooner you get over it, the faster you're going to start selling. They had a little meeting before you got there, okay? And they planned their attack, all right? Crystal, they said, hey, when this guy comes over here, you know, my sister bought one. We ain't fighting. Remember, we can't afford it. We got to get a new car. We got to do this, we got to do that. Okay, so we're ready, right? Okay, good. All right, when this guy comes, now, don't forget. All right, yeah. They had a meeting. They had their sales meeting. They had their anti-sales meeting, okay? And they went with any number of programmed reasons not to buy, all right? So, all right, is it really important that they do that? Well, hell, if we sold 1,000 machines in the country yesterday, every single one of those sales was based on one of these objections. It's not a problem. It's a buying side. You know, and here's what I have a problem with. Okay? Everybody takes this same box with the same machine in every house, and some people sell 75% and some people sell 16%. You know why? Because when we start out, we close 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6. And you know why? Because we're like that dumb idiot in that store, okay, that says, can I help you? Well, hell yeah, I can help you. Let me show you how I can help you. If you want to get this out of your house, I can help you. All right, but I'm sure as hell not going to, you know, at the end of the presentation, if you say, what do you think, let me tell you what they think. They think they can't afford it, they think they're not in the market, they think they got to think about it, and they think they got better things to do with their money. So you can't ask that question. You can't be in that position at the end of the presentation. There is no way. Now, if you want to know the truth, I'm going to give you the truth, but you can't handle the truth because you're still programmed. But I'm going to give it to you anyways, okay? Can't afford what? What's a rainbow cost if they finance it?
27.
A little over $3 a day.
$3 a day. Okay. $3 per day. Okay. Let's see now. $3 a day, right, Kay? All right, let me ask you a question. How much does water cost when it comes out of a tap? Less than a cent? How much does a bottle of water cost?
About 50.
Okay. Yeah. So they got enough money for a bottle of water, but they don't have enough money for a rainbow? I mean, what is the advantage of a bottle of water? I mean, serious? You can buy a bottle, but okay. I went to Starbucks today. They were 6 deep. $5 for a cup of coffee. Hell, you can buy a pound of coffee for $8. What the hell? Am I crazy? Okay, these are the same people that are telling you they don't have $3 a day for a rainbow, but they got $1.50 for a bottle of water? Are you kidding me? Okay, now, and who's buying that? Is it rich people? Only rich people buy bottled water, right?
No.
Those people at Starbucks are all millionaires, right?
No.
People spend money anyway they want to. There's nobody that doesn't have $3 a day, or that isn't already spending $3 a day dumber than they'd be spending it on a rainbow, I guarantee you. Okay? It's not a priority. Here, how about this? When I first started selling rainbows, or when I first started selling Kirby's, actually at the time it was Kirby's, okay? I would walk into a home and this new miracle just happened. It was a little box that you put on top of your TV. And I was in New York at that time. And you got 40 channels. Okay. Before that, dude, we got 3. Okay? I mean, if you were lucky and the wind was going right, okay, you got 3 channels. 40 channels, Yankees games, oh my God, for $30 a month, okay? How much does that cost nowadays?
About $1.50.
Yeah, by the time you bundle it, right? You get the internet and all that jazz. Okay, so when we talk about priorities, okay, basically what those people are telling me, and I want every house I walk into's got it, okay? I mean, there's no question about it. The dish, the this, the that, the blah, 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 blah. So they got, you know, $150 a month to get the dirty movies in their house, but they don't have $150 to get the dirt out? Okay? Who's got screwed up priorities, me or them? I think them, okay? I got a clue for you. I mean, how long do you really have to think about it, and how could you say you're not in the market? I won't go through this. Here's what I want you to understand. You need to forget this crap because it's crap. When you go in a house, you gotta absolutely assume you're gonna get all these objections. You have to also understand that none of them are real. They're all lies, okay? Now, since I don't want you to think about customers as liars, I have given these objections a name. Okay? We call these Bohicas. Beth, you know what a Bohica is?
No.
Bohica? It's an acronym. Think about it for a second. What do you think it means? It means bend over, here it comes again. Okay? Because if you don't overcome these objections, bend over, here it comes again. Okay, you're going to get it, all right? You are going to get these objections in every single home until you learn how to handle them, and you learn how to handle them before you get them, all right? Now, I will tell you this, just to show you, to illustrate the point. Back when we were spending 30 cents to get in a house instead of $100, okay, like Aquamates, Rainmates, and all that kind of jazz, we were handing them a roll of towels and running and getting our stuff back in those days, okay? We would show a rainbow to, or we'd show the machine to anyone, including Housewives Alone, right? Now, you gave a very good, by the way, presentation on Housewives Alone because you proved something that's absolutely true, okay? Which is that the husband has nothing to do with it, okay? He really doesn't. It's a great excuse. They all use it, but he has nothing to do with it. But my point is we sold about 60% of our business to Housewives Alone. Let's not go there because our leads are too much, but let me explain something to you. This was the mentality I used to understand that this, like everything else, was just another Bohica. I won't call it a lie. What if you were at a home today, okay, and you were with a lady alone by accident, okay, and she said to you at the end, what? Got to talk to my husband, right? Chris, what if you could say this to her? Whoa! Whoa! I don't believe it. 7380, let me check. That's it. Hey, listen, Mrs. Jones. Once a year, we give away a rainbow. It's the 10,000th customer of the year. You're in. Wow. You still have to talk to your husband? It wasn't a husband objection, that was it. It was a money objection. It's all bullshit. Okay? It's just bullshit. Okay, I mean, it's a joke. I mean, do you not understand that this is all crap that you just need to flush out of your brain and forget about it? Because it's all crap, okay? However, okay, before you get this crap, okay, you have to eliminate these objections in the home. Now, there is actually a way to do that. But you have to first understand what they were. That's why I went through all that crap. What they are is nothing but a program response, a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. Just like if someone said to you, hey man, let's go to the whatever, bar. Oh man, you know, I gotta, and you're scrambling and you're coming, that's exactly what they're doing, okay? Let's go, you know, whatever, let's go to Vegas tonight, okay? You know, your wife's going to kill you, but you don't want to say that, so you say, hey, you know, I'm a little short on cash this week, I'm tired. Yeah, okay, anyway, same kind of crap. Now, here's the deal. We have the ability to overcome this programming, but we have to do it a certain way. All right, now, I'm going to walk you through something very quickly so you understand it. The only way you can overcome this programming involves very seriously disrupting it, okay? Bam, making it go away like this. Here's what I mean by that, all right? I went to a sales seminar with a sales psychologist who taught me something that I'll never forget, okay? He said to me something, who was saying this morning, our memories are horrible. Jim, right? You were talking to Jimmy, was it? Our memories are absolutely terrible. They're absolutely unbelievably terrible. Our short-term memories are so bad that we literally don't remember the song we heard on the way to this meeting this morning. Okay, we don't remember what we did last week on Wednesday for sure. Okay, I promise you only remember 3 or 4 days last year. And if we go back 2 years, forget it. Okay, maybe your birthday, Christmas, okay, day your kid was born, something, but you don't remember anything. And yet, if I asked a person who bought a rainbow, and this specifically at the time I did it with Kirby customers, who had bought a Kirby or a rainbow 10 years ago, what do you remember about that day? Bam! I would get the same answers over and over again. And it wasn't you. They don't remember you. They don't remember what they paid for it. They don't remember any of that stuff. They usually got all that wrong. What time of year? They couldn't figure that out either. Here's what they did remember. Oh, the guy cleaned my mattress. That was gross. Okay? When I ask rainbow customers, because I used to ask them all the time, guess what the number one answer I got from rainbow customers?
We got the stain out.
Cushion crunch. Never forgot. Big picture in their mind, just never went away. Okay? Now, why is it that they remember 10 years later? Well, let me give you a clue. Even though you don't remember 2 days last year, Micah, how old are you? 19. Where were you on September 11th, 2001?
I was in third grade.
And what happened that day?
The Twin Towers.
Yeah, but what do you remember? Else do you remember about that day? They let you out of school?
No.
Did you go home when you went home? How were your parents?
They were freaked out.
Freaked out. Yeah. What did they do that night? Sat around the TV, watched.
Yes.
Yeah. Worried. Okay. Anybody here not remember what they did on September 11th, 2011? Okay, but you don't remember anything else that happened in 2001, do you? No? Okay. Why is that? Because you were emotionally involved. See, you understand when you're emotionally involved, information sticks. And that's the key to our presentation. That's why they remember your mattress. Okay? That's why they remembered that you killed their back. That's why they remembered that you did a cushion crunch. That's why they remembered that you did a 4x4 with the Aquamate in their carpet. That's why they remember those things, because they were emotionally involved. And you know what happens when you get emotionally involved in something? It breaks down the programming that says I need to say these things, and it allows us to overcome those objections. I will give you 2 fast examples, and then I will let you eat lunch. Okay? One of them has to do with dirt. Okay? Why do we pull dirt in a house? Show them how dirty they are? Is that going to really help? Okay, you're a pig. Hey, would you like one? Okay, now, hey, you're a slob. You want a machine? Okay, now, that's not why we pull dirt, is it? Okay, why do we pull dirt in our house?
Ineffective dirt.
We pulled dirt in the house because they had no idea how much dirt was in their house, okay? They knew they didn't clean yesterday, and they knew there was some dirt there, but they didn't know how much dirt was there. And the reason we don't pull 1 test cloth, and the reason we don't pull 2 test cloths, is that we didn't change their mind with 2 test cloths. But about the time we pull 20 test cloths, what happens?
Holy crap, I didn't know there was much dirt.
Well, let me tell you, let me put it to you this way. How does this make sense to you? Okay? Dirt, the word dirt. Anybody have a really adverse reaction to the word dirt? Dirt, we grow food in dirt. We build houses on dirt. Dirt smells good in the spring after it rains. Dirt isn't a harmful substance. Okay, now let me substitute another word. Tell me what your brain does now. Filth. Is dirt and filth the same thing?
Nope.
Okay. Is one word emotional and the other one just logical or practical? Okay. When does dirt become filth?
Excess.
Right. Okay? So you got to pull enough dirt until it becomes filth. I call that a person's dirt tolerance level. Now, people have different dirt tolerance levels. I mean, you go in a home where people are extremely clean, you get one little test cloth out that's barely coated, and what do? They go, oh, God, that's disgusting, okay? Then you go in a trailer, okay? You get a 1/4 pounder, it's blowing all over the place. And they go, oh, yeah, man, look at that. It's no big deal, okay? We got to pull dirt until you see a reaction. See, your body reacts. Your body is a truer monitor of what's going on. You can lie your ass off, okay? But your body language can't. What happens when you scrape the thing and you hold it up in their face? What do? Okay, what face do they make? Okay, so when you've pulled enough dirt, everything changes. They're emotionally involved. What do they want to do? They want you to stop. You've seen it a million times, okay? Now, when they want you to stop, you have an opportunity. You have now pulled enough dirt to overcome these Mohicans. Okay? Now it's their turn to bend over. Okay, you got it? Okay? I mean, there's the high pressure salesman. Come on, Lee. Stop. I'm in a program. I'm trying to stop. But anyways, the point is, okay, I know I got them. Okay, but see, I know what to do with them. And here's what I did. Hey, first name is Michelle. Hey, Michelle, listen, I know you're tired of looking at this stuff, and I understand it, but listen, I want to tell you something. I've told you this 5 times. I'm going to tell you one more time, but I promise this is the last time I'm going to tell you, all right? This is not your fault. Okay, you can only clean as well as your equipment can clean. Listen, I know the difference. I'm in a lot of homes, and when I walk in a home like yours, I know how much pride you take in your home, because there weren't a pile of dishes in the sink, there wasn't an inch of dust on the table. I mean, you take a lot of pride. So this isn't your fault, but I'm going to add something now, so that's why I'm never going to tell you that again, because I'm going to say that even though it's not your fault, it is your responsibility. You know why? Because I'm not coming back to do this again next week, okay? And see, this is the problem that we have in every home. See, what happens is, if the rainbow stays, this goes. If the rainbow goes, this stays. See, I know you don't like to make it. No one likes to make a decision where money's concerned, but the truth is, okay, you are going to make a decision today, because you're going to decide whether you want the rainbow or this. Wow. Okay. You see, it's very simple stuff. Now, before you make that decision, let me add something to that, Michelle. You know, I picked this room for a specific reason. This is where we kind of hang out. We call it the family room for a reason. Okay? Now, as I've seen, my experience tells me your carpet is part of the furniture. Because we're going to end up sitting on it. The kids are going to have there's pillows, you know, games. And tonight, there's a good chance a big bowl of popcorn might be involved, right? Okay, and then the little hand goes in, 5 kernels of corn come out, 3 make it to her mouth, the other 2 hit the floor. Where's the next place those 2 kernels of corn are?
In the mouth.
That's a 5-second rule. Everybody in America knows 5-second rule. Okay, I'm going to ask you a crazy question, okay? And it's so crazy you can't even get mad at me, all right? Would you let her eat it off of that? Is there really any difference? See, I told you it's too, I mean, obviously not, but I can't imagine that you'd let $3 a day stand between you and getting that out of your child's playground, would you? Thanks for being intelligent. I appreciate you. Okay, you understand? It's easy stuff. There's nothing to it. Okay? Now, what did I do? I told them the truth. Okay? Let me ask you a question. How many of those objections no longer exist?
All of them.
Hey, I have another question for you. Has anybody here ever cleaned a mattress?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. What's the reaction when you pull out that Tesla? Ew. Okay, is that a logical or an emotional reaction? What do you think? Okay? You know, I mean, that's why I could never even think of showing a cleaner without cleaning a mattress. Okay? It is absolutely easily the most emotional thing that you will ever do when you're doing a presentation. Okay? And I will promise you I never missed getting in a mattress because I never went in their room. I went to the kids' room. I don't want to know what's in their room. Okay, I'm going to the kids' room. Okay, but I mean the point is I go to the kids' room for another reason, which is simply this: people will do all kinds of things for the kids they'd never do for themselves. But when you pull that first pad from the mattress, what do you say? Okay, when they're going, ooh, yeah.
The kids sleep in that every night.
Okay, I mean, yeah. Well, first of all, you pull it out and you do a little job acting. I mean, you go, oh, don't touch it. Oh, that's right, you sleep in that, don't you? Okay, anyways, here, let me ask you a question. I mean, really, what do you think that is? Okay, now they know their skin involved probably, but most people think it's dirt, dust, and whatever. Okay, if it was just dirt, dust, and lint, can't anyone ask you a question? Would that be a good enough reason to get out of your bed? I mean, let's think about it for a second. Here's you, okay, you just got out of the shower, let's say, you jump in bed. Okay, and now here's you. Good, bad? Bad. Okay, bad. I mean, that's, you know, and you know, the truth is that even with just dust, we're all allergic to dust, aren't we? I mean, if we don't think so, go close your garage door and sweep the floor. See how long it takes to start hacking, coughing. I mean, it's no good for us. None of us is that good for any of us, right? Now, I want to ask you a ridiculous question. Again, it's so ridiculous you can't get mad at me, Michelle. If I drop that in a glass of water and stir it real well, would you drink it for me? No. A little skin shake? Not interested, huh? Okay, no. The truth is you'd be better off drinking it than breathing it, okay? About 80% of what you see there is putrefied skin and body ash. We don't think about it. We're members of the animal kingdom, and that's what you would be drinking. But that's better for you than breathing it, believe it or not. Because germs and bacteria need 3 conditions to thrive. They need a constant temperature, which your house produces at all times, moisture, which your mattress stays moister than most of your house. That's why they put those little things on the side of it that don't work because they get clogged up with this stuff immediately, so it stays moist. Last but not least, they need something to eat. Okay, we already talked about dust mites, right? Okay, well, guess what? If you were allergic to dust mites, you'd be dead right now. We'd be rushing you to the hospital because there's tons of them in there, but that's not the point. The point is that dust mite feces, whether you're allergic to it or not, is still feces. Okay, germs and bacteria eat feces. That's why we pick the dog stuff out of the backyard. We don't just leave it there, right? Okay, so now we have all the conditions necessary for germs and bacteria to thrive in the place that you spend a third of your life. Okay, so my question to you is this, okay? Like most of us, have you ever had a pretty rough day, lots of stress, ate too much, drank too much, worried too much or whatever, gone to bed, woke up and had a kind of sinusy, nasty headache? So we all have. You know why? Because the last time you had that, okay, doctor told you to go to bed, sweat it out, and guess where it is? It's about 80% of the diseases we contract in our own home. We just get them over and over again. Okay, they just continue to live on and on and on. All right, okay. Now, most of the time it's not a problem. We're healthy, big spoil. Okay, but once in a while it is. Now, what does it cost to have a cold? I don't know. It may probably cost $100 by the time you miss a day of work, go to the doctor or whatever. But the truth is, we don't even put a price on the health and welfare of our families, do we? I mean, who thinks about what a cold costs? That's not the point. The point is how you feel, listen to your child hack all night or whatever. Now, I know that you would like to get this out of your kids' mattresses, but let's just put it this way. 20 minutes ago I came to your door, you said you weren't buying anything, right? I remember, okay. I said I wasn't selling anything. You were probably telling the truth, I might have been fibbing a little bit. But I bet you knew that before I left, I would tell you how you could get one and how much they cost, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, right? Now at that point I've had people insult my intelligence, Kenny. You know what they tell me? Tell me they got to think about it. How long do you have to think about whether you want to get that out of your child's mattress? That's what I thought. Okay, I mean, it doesn't, honest to God, most people ask me to leave it just like this. The first thing they do is go up and clean their kid's mattress. It'd be high on your priority list, wouldn't it?
Right.
And I can't imagine you put $3 a day stand between you and getting this out of your child's mattress, would you?
Not at all.
Thanks for being intelligent. I'll finish this one for you. Okay, you won't have to worry about it tonight. Okay, this is very simple stuff.
Thanks for being intelligent.
Thanks for being intelligent. We don't have to listen to I gotta think about it at the end. Who's gonna tell you that to think about it? He just told me he didn't have to think about it. Okay. Who's gonna tell me they can't afford it? They told me 25 times he wouldn't let $3 a day stand between him and getting this condition out of his children's playground, his children's mattress. Okay, no one's gonna. I mean, listen. I used to say, hey, I'm glad to hear that because they're not my kids, and it bothers me that they're sleeping in this, so I can't imagine how you feel. Now, you can't get away with that. I can't. Don't try it. But my point to you is, I'm going to get these people emotionally involved in this presentation because there's no reason for me to be in that house if I don't. There's no reason for me to go in that house, halfway show them a presentation that I'm not emotionally involved in, they're not emotionally involved in, and hope that logically they'll buy one someday. Don't be stupid. Okay, they're not buying nothing. You're going to sell 1 out of 6. And you know why you're going to sell 1 out of 6? Because 1 out of 6 people in America buys a cleaning system every year. You'd have to talk them out of it if you weren't selling 1 out of 6. Okay? So again, why do some people sell 50%? Why do some people sell 75, 80%? Why? Because they don't worry about this stuff. Okay? They make the decision for the people. I don't wait for people to make a decision or anything else. I make it for them. There is no decision. At the end of a presentation, this is all I say. Hey, look at blah, 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 $3 a day. If I knocked on your door tomorrow, Kenny, and I said, I'm Mike from Mike's Cleaning Service. I'm going to come in hospital, clean your mattresses, deep clean your furniture, deep clean your carpet, shampoo your carpets, do all the things the Rainbow will do. At the end of the day, I was going to ask you for $3. Would you hire me? You'd lock me in a closet, feed me 3 meals a day. You'd never let me out of here, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't we just go right over the table real quick, and I'll show you what this looks like on paper so you can throw me out. I'm sure you guys have had enough of me, right? Come on. I'll walk over to the table and write it up. And you know what the first question I ask him is? Hey, Kenny, how do you spell your last name again? And when he spells it, guess what happened? He bought it.
It's sold.
It's sold. Got it? I send the sale. Because there aren't any objections. Period. Okay? Okay. That was fun. Talk to you guys.